Mrparka,
Average Joe.
we're here to review, if you want to hold it up, from Echo Bridge. It's one of the Miramax releases of, I didn't see this movie when it came out. Was it? I see sometimes it said 2001, sometimes it says 2003.
I think it said 2003. That's what I seen on IMDb.
Alright, well, this is Ritual. This was a Tales from the Crypt movie when they started production, and then I think they were like, no, we're not going to do this Tales from the Crypt thing, and then the last minute they pulled the old Crypt Keeper out of storage and threw a tacky opening on. It's kind of a funny opening. It has some of the qualities of, Demon Knight, Bordello Blood, the old series, but he has rotted. Time has not been good to the old Crypt Keeper.
He was in bad shape.
What up, my people? Welcome to Jamaica, man.
He was in rough shape.
And it really sucked for me because I just got done watching a bunch of Tales from the Crypt old school, and the comparison between the way he looked 2 weeks ago on the old school DVDs and now is pretty dilapidated.
Which is sad because the Crypt Keeper is probably one of my favorite all-time things ever, especially in my childhood. But
ditto.
On to the movie. The opening is cool. Of course, there's beautiful chicks around the Crypt Keeper, and he's Jamaican style. Basically,
we'll gain a couple points for the female skin.
What we have here is, it's kind of, I guess the story is based off the same material as I Walk with the Zombie was. I've never seen any Val Lewton movies, which is terrible. I know people are going to be like, you've never seen Cat People or the sequel, or I Walked with the Zombie. My grandfather loved that movie. He always talked about it, but I did not see it. But I have heard about it. And I do know a little bit about it. It involves voodoo and whatnot. And as does this one. This movie actually has some pretty good actors in it.
Well, Jennifer Grey was in it. If anybody knows who Jennifer Grey is, on Ferris Bueller's sister, I mean, come on,
aged great.
And she was a knockout.
At 43 years old.
Yeah, I checked that up, and she was a knockout.
Over the hill, knockout.
43 years old, and man, she was in good shape.
You know who was even in better shape? Was Tim Curry.
Yeah.
No, anyways, I love Tim Curry.
He was great, though. Yeah, I just loved Tim Curry. Honestly, he could have just walked through the whole movie and did nothing but just shove food in his face and not have one line.
He could have been like,
and I still would have said he did an awesome job.
Yeah, it's Tim Curry. He did a good job. He played a character that you would expect him to play. He always does a great job. Craig Schaefer was in it.
I liked this character.
Craig Schaefer's in it from Nightbreed, Hellraiser 5. Those are movies that are noteworthy to me. I'm sure he's in a lot of really big A-list movies that people love, but I'm not familiar with. I love Nightbreed, but he did all right as well. And
the Doctor in the beginning, but I don't know his name.
Yeah, I don't know his name either. He's in a bunch of movies. I think he's an Arab guy.
He's a very
tons of movies.
I should have looked that up for you.
Yeah, but it's got a decent cast.
We'll insert the Doctor's name into a YouTube.
Okay, nobody cares.
Really? I do.
He's all right, but
I like the guy.
He's a good actor, but he's just one of those guys that even I can't remember his name, and I remember everybody's name. But anyways. This movie starts off with a lot of great potential. Has a melt scene in the beginning. You're thinking, oh, it's going to be gory, nudity-filled, awesome movie. And I must say, they did give you a good amount of nudity in the film. Really
I think that melt
looking
scene was probably 60% of the budget. Because that was literally the best scene in the whole movie.
Yeah,
and that was really
definitely
early on.
And unfortunately, after that, it's an hour and 46 minutes long, and the movie should have been a chill 80 minutes.
Yeah, they should have.
Beautiful location. The editor should have cut some more out. Beautiful. It was kind of an elaborate story though, but maybe it would have felt rushed. But all the Tales from the Crypt episodes felt rushed, so this did not feel like a Tales from the Crypt episode. It did and it didn't. The twist at the end made it feel like one. The idea that it was so long and drawn out and beating around the bush did not. You called the twist at the end.
Yeah.
And
the CGI was pretty bad.
Oh, there was this awful
CGI. Was really bad.
It was 2003 CGI, so what do you expect? I mean, like that movie American Werewolf in Paris, when that movie came out, I was a little kid and I was like, this movie's awesome. And then you revisit it and you're like, what is that? Is that CGI? What is that thing? And this movie probably suffered the same fate, but I don't think the CGI was ever considered top-notch in this.
Yeah, I don't even think so. Even for early CGI,
it.
that was all pretty bad.
That was pretty bad.
Yeah, it was sloppy.
It wasn't regenerated, man.
I don't know. I wanted to talk about the plot though, because like the plot, you're right, it was good, but it didn't feel like it Tales from the Crypt.
It didn't. It didn't. It beat around the bush too much.
There wasn't enough like craziness. There's usually just something like just nonsensical and like
a circus or twins with 3 tits or something awesome.
Something,
like that.
Yeah. There wasn't enough absurdity. Like horrific absurdity. I don't know. It was a good movie. It should have not been associated with Tales from the Crypt, though.
It was a decent movie. I mean, the whole movie, the plot was basically a guy's 2 brothers. One's really sick. He keeps calling in doctors to help him, and there's a lot of danger involved with voodoo, and people are ending up dead. They're getting this strange mystery disease, and they can't control themselves. People are getting killed, and it's a big corrupt web of deceit and crazy voodoo nonsense sort of stuff. But
Perfectly
it's not
worded.
all that it seems, because it's Tales from the Crypt. And as the Crypt Keeper says after reading Oliver Twist, where's that twist? But there's a twist in this one, of course. Not great, not horrible. Definitely one of the movies that you should see at 3 o'clock in the morning when you can't sleep on HBO.
Yeah. I don't know.
5,
like,
which makes it average.
I was shooting for 6.3, but then I realized that or 6.2, and then I realized that I was only going to shoot it that high because I really liked the skin in it.
The skin was great.
But then I started thinking about the movie after we turned it off, and I realized how very unmemorable this movie was, even after the fact I just turned it off a couple minutes ago. And I'm already struggling to remember the film. A lot of when I was watching it, I did do a lot of dazing out. Dave spent most of the time picking off his foot skin. There's a whole pile over there. That's pretty good. That's why I'm sitting on this side this time.
Let's see, that's some dry foot, dry hands.
Yeah. So yeah, the movie wasn't very memorable. If I was gonna, I'm being generous, I think, with like a 5.8.
I'm giving it a 5 because I feel 5 is average and not bad. Definitely watchable. Definitely worth a watch if you're into this whole kind of deal. The scenery's beautiful. The locations are beautiful. Tim Curry's beautiful. The women are beautiful. And they have a lot of abbage. There's a good amount of nudity. And
I like Jennifer Grey's abbage.
It has 2 like the hottest women you would ever see in a movie. But I just can't vote a movie on strictly babes, you know? It's not like... It's just... You can't do that. I mean...
That's the only reason I kept watching it.
I mean, Replicator, we voted on strictly based, but Replicator had a corny funness.
Yeah.
This one, this is not a bad movie. It has really good production values, except the CGI. The actors are good. You could tell they did, but it just isn't. It's just not a very memorable movie, and the plot is okay, but it's. I just can't love this movie, and I probably won't watch it again. You know, a character I did enjoy is the police chief. Who's kind of a big fat pervert.
The fat guy.
Big fat pervert. Big fat pervert. But that's an inside joke that not many people will get. But
you suck because you don't know it.
Shut up, dude. It's so obscure. There's like 3 people that get it. But anyways, it's like every scene I imagine on set. They're like, all right, we got this big fat police chief. Spray him with a bottle. This dude must have got sprayed every 2.5 seconds because he was constantly sweating. He did a great job.
Soaking. I was hoping he was going to croak up a heart attack at some point in the
film.
Just
like, oh, and then like, pfft. He was great in it, and what happened? The thing that happens with him at the end is actually perfect. But what happens? What he wants?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah, that's all I can say is check it out. Let me see.
Watch it. If you've seen us do this review, if you want to watch it out of curiosity, sure, go ahead.
Cover art does not match the movie at all, by the way. Look at that.
Yeah, I don't even get what that has to do
There's
with
a little
anything.
girl. I
I don't even know what that has to do with anything.
There's no actual special features. The picture quality looked decent, but I mean, it's a newer movie, so it wouldn't look too bad. And it's a cheapie. I mean, if I saw, I
Honestly,
would pick it up to watch it. You should just might as well buy it. It's probably like $6 instead of renting it or tracking it down. You'd probably be better off just buying it and checking it out. Like, I mean, it's a good late night movie if you can't
watch it
fall
for
asleep.
Jennifer Grey. Honestly, yeah, for sure. That's the only suggestion I
And
really
Tim
got.
Curry.
Yeah, Tim Curry and Jennifer Grey. You know, it doesn't really shine on Tim Curry that much, but he's still amazing. It doesn't matter what he does. But Jennifer Grey, I haven't seen her do anything forever. So, hell, this is her, like, first movie since what? I can't even think of anything after
I'm
Ferris
not very
Bueller's.
familiar with her.
Yeah,
I mean,
Ferris Bueller's.
most of the
That's
movies that
the
she
last thing I
did
could
probably
think of.
weren't my like interest.
Yeah, she's hot, though. So just watch for her.
That's all I have to say. 5 out of 10.
5.8. Because I like Jennifer Grey, Tim Curry.
Yeah.
Yeah. Big
Well,
five.
I'm done. I'm done.
Me too. I'm good on this.